Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind when we rewind.
Okay, hello, and welcome to the Uniq Xpressions podcast. I am your host, Destinee Jae, and I'm here with my lovely group of people. And what we are going to talk about tonight is independence and the I don't need a man ideology. All right, and we're not just gearing this towards women. We're going to be trying to see what the men feel and if we can find a solution to the I don't need a man ideology. If we need one, we may not need one. We may not need y'all, but we'll figure this out. All right. Now, anybody that has watched or has seen my podcast, which is on YouTube, the Uniq Xpressions podcast, if you haven't seen it, I need you guys to go to YouTube now and subscribe. Please press the big red button. I have a lot of great episodes. And if anybody that hasn't seen or has seen it, we all know that I love Kevin Samuels. Which is real, I know, look at the faces, which is real controversial, right? And there was an episode that I had did about single parents wanting like a high value man. And then I also did one on why certain women and men weren't good enough for high value partners, right? And I had set out a criteria. There was a criteria that Kevin Samuels had for women. And it was very interesting. What I found out yesterday when I was doing some research for the show is that he added more to the criteria. So ladies, if you want a man that's making money, or any man considered a high value man that's making maybe 7 figures, 8, 9 figures, I have a list and I need you ladies to tell me what you think about that. And men also, I need to know what you guys think about that, all right? So here it goes. Hold your wigs. Here it goes. Okay, he says the 5 criteria for women obtaining high value men, all right, or high value men, is that the women need to be fit, friendly, feminine, submissive, right, and cooperative. Now, if you need me to go a little bit more into that, I will, but I can see all the ladies' faces, so I know that we're about to have a real good discussion. All right. So I wanted to ask what you think about that before we get all the way into this conversation, because I know this is going to be good. Anybody want to speak? Come on from mute. Unmute. Y'all want to hear what y'all got to say. Any of my men want to say anything? Any high value men in the room?
Well, I'll start it off. I think some of the characteristics that he mentions are good, but some of them are not.
Okay. Which ones didn't you like?
The cooperative, that's number one, because both people should be cooperative towards each other, which that word should not even exist. You said friendly, that's a good one. I can't even remember half of the ones you said, but
what about submissive? How do we feel about that?
Submissive is good, but it all depends on what type of man that you have, because I can be submissive at times, but at other times it's hard for me to be submissive.
Okay, and why is it hard to be submissive?
Because I'm not going to submit myself to a man that is not in my corner.
Okay. And he breaks down submissiveness. He breaks this down as men can only ask for submission if they pay for everything and they foot all the bills. So how are the men feeling about that one? I love your face, Jenny. Talk, unmute. Everybody can unmute. This is an open discussion. We just talk.
I'm sorry, because I was told about this by the gentleman that can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
I was told about
Right.
this whole forum by one of the lovely gentlemen here. I am
Okay.
actually currently in a Kevin Samuels Facebook group. It's like a Kevin Samuels support
Right.
Facebook group.
Okay.
Okay.
Several of these gentlemen claim to be high value, but are butterball ass ugly. Like, first and foremost, they want us to be these pristine, perfect little Barbie dolls, and all you got to offer is a bag. I can just go get my own. They be
Right.
out of shape, ugly as hell, insensitive, but I'm supposed to be this pristine Barbie doll that sit on your arm and do any and everything that you expect me to do. Where's the compromise?
There you go.
Where is my arm piece? Where is my submissive partner? Because there are times niggas want to be baby, you know, when they not feeling well, and you know, when they stomach hurt and they back hurt and they want somebody to rub on them and talk to them nice. There is a level of submission that comes from them, which allows me to do these things for you.
Right.
I understand. Now, men, what do we think about that? Because she brought up some great points. Now, what do the men in the room think about that? Do you have to look good to be high value?
You gotta have a kingdom to be a king. Like you can't go around just saying that you're a king, but then you have no kingdom. You can't go around saying that, oh, I'm a rapper, but okay, you can make a couple of beats or something like. No, you have to fit that role and everything that comes into it, all the requirements into it. So when he says like, okay, well, with Kevin Samuels, with me, I think that he tries to point out unrealistic expectations. Um, so when it comes to like men wanting all this stuff, just because you have a penis doesn't mean that you earn a woman's submission. Uh, it doesn't mean that you earn her being friendly or anything like that. These is usually something that y'all would naturally do regardless. I mean, like, but with the right person, yeah, you'll be friendly, yeah, you'll be submissive, you get the whole 9 yards. But I really think that it's pro quo where the men definitely need to be um like stepping up, filling the shoes, filling her expectations and stuff like that for her to even get like that. So I can agree with that as far as like he should be paying the bills or he should be paying, the rent if he wants the woman to do that. Now on the flip side though, you do have men that actually do that, but women still demanding things or something like that, or higher expectations. And I think that that's something that he points out in the sense of you do have these men, like, yeah, they probably not making uh 6 figures or something like that, but they pitting you in a home. They have a home, you have food, you have shelter, you got a job, but you can spend your own money. I mean, I think that that should account some too, where yeah, you do got to work, but you're working for your luxury. At the same time, I think that man still earn respect or still should earn that submission. Just the fact that you're getting to choose to go out to go and do it or work or have a job just so you could pay for your expenses that you want. But I mean, outside of that, if she's taking like half the rent or something like that, or she's paying on this or something like that, yeah, you might want to, tone it down or share the pants leg. Like you can't wear the pants in that household.
I hate that analogy. Like, it's not even about sharing a penis. If I baby you, baby me. It's really simple at that point. Like, he tried to make it seem like women are only there as arm pieces, eye candy, and incubators. And that's the part I don't like. It's like, what is your potential to bear children? Can I walk around and people lust after you while you're with me? And will you shut up when I say so? That's kind of like the basis of what he wants. Like we're living in a night.
Well, I want to say one thing. It goes with the song because I love music. Teddy Pendergrass says 50-50 love. Not a 20-80, not a 30-70. It's 50-50. Everything in life is 50-50 if you're in a relationship. I don't expect a man to do everything for me because if this man that I call my man is in my life and he's doing for me, I'm going to make sure I do for him. So that's where the 50-50 comes in at. It doesn't mean that he has to make 7 figures and I sit on my ass and do nothing. Just
Okay.
because
Okay.
he's making, 7 figures. I'm not going to just sit there and just expect him to do everything. That's just me personally. Because if I see my man doing something, I'm going to do something to help him. That's just me.
I
All
think
right.
y'all naturally do that. I mean, to be
Yeah.
100, I think y'all do that automatically. I find a lot of women just can't sit down. Like, gotta be constantly doing something. I have to be like, whether it's cooking, whether I'm doing cleaning, whether I gotta go to the store. Oh no, I gotta do this, or he's coming home, so let me go do something. Y'all have to constantly.
Right.
It's something about being idle with y'all. But I think with Kevin Samuels, what he points out, because a lot of women want 6-figure, 7-figure men, and these men don't need nothing from y'all except for I want y'all to look good and like have sex with me or something like that. But that's it. Outside of that, I don't need nothing else from you. I can take
Okay,
care of
so
myself. I can.
basically, we want to relax too. We don't want to be out there doing everything. And if we're doing something to be in a relationship with you, give us a break. Let
Okay,
us relax. Let us,
okay,
if you
and
see,
and that
we
and
need a
that's cool.
vacation the
But
same way a man
if
needs a
I'm paying
vacation.
for everything, right? It's my house. I'm paying for all the bills and everything, and I can afford a maid and a cook.
Then that
You
gives me
you
space
can
to
sit pretty
relax.
for a while.
That gives me space to
You know,
relax.
you can sit pretty for a while. Then what is left for you to do? Look good.
Okay, I'm just gonna say something
I
about me. I
I
don't
don't
want
know
a
what
man.
happened,
I
but I
don't.
can't hear you, Coco. I don't know what happened.
Can anybody hear me?
I
We can
I
can't
hear
can
you.
hear
hear
you.
anybody.
Yeah.
Go
To
ahead.
answer that question, I don't need a man to do everything for me. I was brought up to be independent, to do everything for myself. So if a man comes into my life, I do not expect a man to do any and everything for me.
I don't know.
Okay.
I
So
put
let
in,
me ask you something. That's good because I want to go into it. Now let's go into it. Let's be serious. Um, I want total honest answers. We about to get into it. Is wanting and needing a man the same thing?
No.
Want and need.
no,
What's the
no.
difference?
If you want a man, you want a man. Well, basically it is, to be honest, it really is the same thing. Because I want a man in my life and I need a man in my life.
So you say it's the same thing? Does anybody think it's different?
I
Well,
think
to a
it's
certain
different.
What do
extent.
you need one
I,
for,
yeah,
Renee?
Oh,
Well, to
just
ask a
let
man,
me
I
you
go
say
think
you
first.
want.
it's just like any basic thing in life. Wants and needs are two separate categories, which is why we have two separate words for them. You need water to live. You want juice. You don't need juice, but we want it and we like it, and we probably get more juice than we do water because that's what we like. But you need water. I
Right.
want to be able to lay and cuddle and coddle with someone. Do I need to do those things? Will I die tomorrow because I don't have someone laying in my bed? No.
Okay, all right. I respect it. Good. This is good. Okay. Anybody else have a different perspective of needs and wants?
I agree with exactly what you just said. I just threw that out
Do you agree
there.
with it? Okay.
yeah, I agree too. I agree too.
Okay. Okay. And since we are more focused on the women, I wanted to ask this question. Do you guys think that, or does anybody here think that women are just done with broken and toxic men altogether? Is that why some women say, okay, I don't need a man? What do you think?
If
No.
I can answer, I think women are
Okay.
just done with being lied to and manipulated and used, and then when they get tired, you just move on.
But there's a problem
Okay.
with the question though. The question presumes that women are not broken and toxic themselves.
Well, no, she was talking about men. She wasn't
That's
talking
an
about women.
assumption
No,
of you
I
of the
understand
question.
what
Now you're
she's
making an
talking
assumption
about,
about the assumption.
but the question, the premise underlying the premise underlying the question assumes that women are not broken and toxic
You're
themselves.
making
How
that
is that so?
assumption. Nobody made that
That-
claim. You're
that-
adding to the question now.
You're adding to the
Right.
question. I would
She,
have to
right.
agree. She never
I would have
said
to agree too.
she's
Yeah.
talking about. She's
no,
talking
I'm
about
not
men.
buzzing on that one. I'm not buzzing on that one.
So,
Because
so what do you think? Do you think women are tired of broken and toxic men altogether? That's why
No,
they say they don't.
women are
No.
broken.
Pe-
Women are
People are
broken
tired
and
of
toxic.
toxic people.
Wait. Women are broken and toxic themselves. Where do you think a lot of these beta males come from? Broken and
But
toxic women.
that's not the question that she
That
asked.
wasn't the question, and you're adding your own emphasis onto it. Um,
They come from
what
supervised.
she said was, "Are women tired of dealing with broken and toxic men?" She did not claim that all men are broken and toxic. You, in your statement, seem to be claiming that all women are broken and toxic.
No, I didn't say all women. I did not say
If I
all.
can,
But you're not
You
answering
said
the
women
question.
in general, so that's how your statement was perceived, I think, by all of us.
if I can just
And you're
add a
not
little bit,
answering the question.
may I just add a little bit of clarity? I think,
Okay.
because I mean, let's be honest. There are toxic men out there. If you don't know one, then consider yourself lucky. But let's be honest, we've probably all come across one or two. And let's be honest, you know, every individual brings their own past experiences and fears and, you know, rules of engagement to where they're at now. So I think both is a little true, to be honest. But, you know, if women are tired of dealing with toxic and unhealthy men, so are men, whether it be friends, family members, associates, you know, employers, employees, toxic masculinity. I mean, this is America, people. America, you know, makes a lot of money off of toxic masculinity. So, you know, to say that no one here has been affected or have, you know, seen that in action would be a lie. I just want to keep everyone in mind that with the differences of men and women, we're all first world Americans. So I like keeping the idea of unrealistic expectations out in front, because especially as a Black community of the diaspora, it's easy to lull yourself into believing that unrealistic expectations should be at your front door, especially with the amount of work and hours that we put in as individuals. So I just want to keep that up front.
Okay.
Well, let me know when I can answer.
You want to answer? Answer.
I do. So I think people are tired of toxic people, and toxic is very much a word. For me, I no longer will date someone who is not working on themselves. So it's not that people are toxic. People aren't willing to do work on themselves. And to reply to your question, and nothing against the brother who brought up women when you asked about men, but my issue when I'm coaching women on men is when you accuse or say something about men, then the reply is but women. But we're talking about men right now. And what women, I believe, is tired of is being pursued only for some sort of what you can give to me, not just what I can bring into your life. And most of the time, what I've learned is masculine energy, regardless of the gender or sexuality, is very sexually driven. And so men need to be a bit more honest, I think, about what they are trying to accomplish, which makes them toxic. So I know men that date my ex-wife and hang out with her, and they say they just want to do stuff. You know, I want to come help you put up your TV, or I want to go. But then as soon as you realize you might not be getting sex, you get in your feelings. But she ain't never promised it. She ain't never said it. Shit, 3 or 4 of them are fucking married, and they still get in their feelings if they're not getting some. But the problem is people, and this falls under men a little bit more, don't approach relationships as, what can I offer you? You know what I'm saying? I feel like masculine energy is always, what can I get from you? And then once I'm not getting that, the relationship is no longer convenient. So now I don't need to be in the relationship anymore, or need to make that relationship a priority. I think that is what women are sick of. And then the manipulation and lies. So men desiring monogamy, but clearly not giving it at all. Like, there are men that are married, that are dating women, and are trying to regulate the women that they are dating on who else they are dating, as like FaceTiming them to make sure they're not out. But these are men who are in whole other relationships they are not even being honest about. So I find it hard to see how men are so insecure about what women are doing when they know what they have done. Like, I've seen men fuck somebody the night before and then be mad because your woman laughed at a joke from somebody else. And so I think that's what women are tired of, is being put in a place where you're asking for things you really can't give, and you want them in return. And then the original question, when I came in, I'd heard the sisters say that relationships are 50-50. I like to up that. Relationships are 100-100, not 50-50. If you're independent. So you should be. And I don't like the splitting of the bills. I mean, if my partner feels like she wants a fancier house and that's why we're splitting the bills, cool. But it's my house. Like, if you weren't with me, who else was going to pay my fucking bills? Me. So there should be no reason why I need you to pay my bills at my house just because you're living there or whatever. And sex is not payment for anything from either way, man or woman. So yeah, if I'm paying all the bills, I do want you to be saving money. I do want you to be going to school, or, doing things to make the house look better, and so on and so forth. But women have a lot more to offer than just their bodies and children. But if as a man, or when you're in deep into your masculine energy, if all you're desiring is sex, first be honest about it. But that's why you pursue that. And for the women that just desire money, if you just desire money, don't be mad that you're just desired for your, like, you want to be a trophy wife, you're going to be a trophy wife. You're going to look good until you start collecting dust, and then I'm going to go win another trophy. So it's, you know what I'm saying? You have to realize what you're asking for, what you're putting out in the universe, you're going to get back karmatically. And that's the thing that's making this toxic relationship stuff we are looking for. We want to control, because that's where monogamy comes from. I want to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, who you're doing it with. And then insecurities don't come from your partner. Insecurities come from the mirror. Men are insecure, I believe, because they know what they have done. They've seen what they've done. So it's, they really are worried about what they would do in that certain situation. And I see it with women. Their insecurities come from not what I'm doing, but what they either would do in a situation, or what someone else has done to them in a situation. And I've decided I'm no longer going to be responsible for the downfalls of your past or not. If I'm an honest person, I don't need to prove that I'm honest. I just need to be honest. And it's up to you to decide whether you believe me or not. And if not, it's cool. You can move on.
Okay. Now I'm watching the audience, right? So Slim, or Lloyd, would you have something to say? I know you want to answer the question, and I'm going somewhere with this. It's a follow-up question to this. So I just want to give everybody's opinion.
To hold it down for the women.
All right, and T, I know you had something to say. Who wants to go first? Slim, T.
I was just saying, Adonis pretty much summed it up.
Yes, he did.
To hold it down for the women, because you nailed it. That's exactly, how we feel. You can't expect all of this from us, and all you have to bring to the table is money, because nowadays money is just not enough. Sex is not enough. It's just not going to cut it.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Slim?
So then, the question, any questions when you meet a man as far as how much money he makes, where he went to school, and what kind of job he does should be out the window, because that's a measurement. Well, no, you have your chance to done. That's a measurement of what I'm worth, rather than what I can provide as a person, as a man. So we got two different stratas of that we're looking at. Who I am and what I can give out of who I am, and then what I'm worth as a function of what I possess, whether it be beauty or resources. So those are two different stratas on both sides. Now then, of course, if I as a high value man, I'm looking for somebody, of course it's not going to stop with the looks and what you wear and whatnot, because my next question, if I see one of y'all across the room, okay, the downstairs looks right, what's going on upstairs? Because if I cannot connect with what's going on upstairs, the whole deal is off. Okay? If she cannot be the safe place for me to land, no, the whole deal is off. I don't care how good she looks. And that doesn't come from her clothes, her figure, how much time she spends in the gym, how much she beats her face with MAC Cosmetics. None of that matters when it comes to when you get to the end of the day and you need somebody to connect and vibe with.
Okay, and let me ask you, I know I heard you
those
say
are none
that.
of the qualifications for a high value man.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm sorry.
No.
No, it's okay, good.
I want
you're
you
saying
to
that
say it again. I want you to say it again. I didn't hear it all.
what I'm saying is, you're saying at the end of the day, I have to connect with you intellectually. But in the beginning of all of this, our lovely host listed 5 characteristics that women are supposed to have. Intellect and, being that safe haven wasn't none of them.
Right.
Well, that's
so
that's
to say
that's
at the end of the day are the requirements.
Well, that's something that's on my checklist. Granted, Destiny's list may have been a bit more general and mine more specific, but still, that's something I have to have. But because if we cannot laugh at similar things, we don't get each other. We cannot converse on any and everything. My next question is, why are you here?
Well, I would like
That's
to
an
get
easy
back
question, because you're a high value man and you possess things that I want. Isn't that what it is at the end of the day? We're all
I think
searching for a high value man.
that's why I think it's a difference between requirement and preference. Like you can have
Exactly.
requirement, you have requirements that, like, yeah, you gotta have these. These are like a hard yes and hard no. But then you have preference where, yeah, you can sometimes let that go because they fill up other aspects that you like in a person. So like, for instance, like, yeah, I want a pretty woman or whatsoever. Of course, everybody wants a beautiful woman or whatsoever. Nobody's gonna just go after somebody who's ugly. But you have a lot of guys who go after pretty women, but she's dumb as a doorknob, like stupid. Like, but she's still around. Why? Because he likes her sex game, or she has a big booty or something like that. She's eye candy. So I think it's a difference between with preferences and requirements. So.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about, and there is a difference. I mean, however, the connection part is a requirement for me. That's just something that I cannot get around. It may be a preference for somebody else, but it's a requirement for me.
So,
Okay.
can I
Sure.
just say one thing? I'm an independent woman. That's number one. That's the way I was raised, to be independent without a man. If a man comes into my life, you guys are talking about 6 figures, this man making this much. What about us women that are just like men that are doing what we're supposed to do for ourselves and helping out a man? Anybody have an answer?
Okay.
So
There,
what do you,
for me, there's a difference between being self-sufficient and being independent.
I'm independent. I am an independent person. That's the question.
I
Okay,
need to hear
but
the differences between the two first.
Yeah, I
Okay.
need to hear the differences.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
there's a fine but distinct difference between the two.
Splitting
A
hairs.
woman who's independent says that she doesn't need a man. She doesn't want a man. A woman who is self-sufficient says that she wants a man, even though she doesn't have one right now, but she but she but she wants one in her life, and she
That's
makes.
not true.
Well, I did look up the meaning because I knew it was going to come up. Independent. The meaning is free from outside control, not dependent on another's authority.
Right.
Now, it doesn't say that you can be independent and not want or need a man. It just says that you're free. Like, you don't need anybody to control you. Now, is having a man, does that mean that having a man is having someone in your life to control you?
that's what men, I think that's what men would like is the, well, masculine energy, not just men, but people in general. Their masculine energy likes to control the relationship. That's why I think people like dependent people. Because if she's dependent, then I can control what she does, where she is, what she says, so on and so forth. So even the young lady, she was trying to go around the words, but go ahead and say it. If you feel you're a high value woman, then say high value, because you earn money, and there are a lot of high value, women that are earning 6 figures, still trying to date, but still can't seem to connect with someone that wants them in their life the way they desire. Of course, the same issue goes with both people. A lot of people who feel that they are high value also feel that they want to control a lot of the aspects of the relationship. And that I don't shoot anybody's happiness down. I'm just of the mindset that relationships should not be controlled. They should be desired.
So let's ask a question. High value woman. Let's say, let's change it. High value woman. If I'm a high value woman, and let's say Adonis is my man, or Lloyd is my man, Slim is my man, does that mean I get to control you because I make more of the money?
No, because I don't control women. Now, for me, because I won't control you because you make less money. But that's just me. But there are men that are in that situations because they want to be with a woman that takes care of them.
I think that that's the problem overall with this high value and low value man and woman. I don't subscribe to the concept at all, because all of the things that you listed could still make you a shitty person at the end of the day. And
Facts.
I may or may not have all of the things, but I probably have higher value than some that think they own the world. What I value about people is how you treat other people and not devaluing them based on what they have. So to me, if you value the material, if you value only...
Yes, he turn you off.
Okay.
The diva turned you off.
The case was like, no.
The diva didn't want you to
Devil's alive. No.
If you value, what you can get from a woman, what sex is going to be, what she can give you, bring you, all of those things, then to me, you are of lower value, because you are not valuing me, the person, and what I actually have to offer. It could be that I have those 6 figures. You don't know that. But because of the choices that I make in my life and how I choose to live my life, I can promise you that you would consider me a low value woman, and not based on what I earn, what I can provide for you, and all the things. And your definition of being independent, um, I understand you want to make a distinction between how you think women are, but the reality is, as our host said, independent has its own definition, and being an independent person is regardless of gender, sex, or preference. If you are independent, you are independent. You can be independent and self sufficient. You can be completely dependent upon someone financially, but be an independent person and be seeking opportunities for yourself outside of that. So there's a whole lot wrapped up in the semantics of what you said, but I think that you have to shift your definitions to really apply to what it is you really want to say.
I hear you, Rhonda, but I disagree.
What? Slim.
Yeah.
Just let
Okay.
Why
Let's
do you
talk
disagree?
about
You
it.
just
Like
took
you
me
gotta
okay.
talk
Why do you
about
disagree?
it.
Okay, yes, I want you to
Come on.
respond.
I mean, look, if as far as the personal aspect goes, um, who um, who um, who she is, um, we got to be able to to meld together. Otherwise, there is no coming together. But as far as being independent, we're talking about mindset. If a woman is making
But
six
comes
figures,
bullshit. And you know after but comes bullshit.
hey, that's fine. If a woman is making six figures, of course she's smart. For me, I cannot stand a dumb woman. I can't stand a dumb or stupid woman. So more than often, she's going to be making something that probably more than enough that she can afford her own bills and everything like that before I come along.
Can I ask a question?
Sure,
Do you make six figures?
soon,
Soon, but no.
soon.
But no.
I'm just about to launch my business. And even before that, I was just spitting distance from six figures.
So
As a,
you
as
still haven't made it
my
there.
claim,
Does that decrease your value because you are not a six figure man?
I'm sorry, what?
Does that decrease your value because you are not a six figure man?
Does what decrease my value?
Does the fact that you do not make six figures decrease your value?
As a person or as in what sense are you talking about?
Person, a male, a man, an entity, a being.
That's a person.
See, now as a person, as a man, no, it doesn't, because the income is only one
Uh,
aspect
did I
of
misunderstand you when you said that um, women without all of those qualities were not low value women? I thought that that was what you said.
That's what he said.
I did not classify what a low value woman was for one.
So let me
You
ask you, what's a toxic woman? Because I heard you talk about a toxic woman, which was one of my questions. And I want to ask everybody, okay, so Lee, because that was my questions. I just wanted to ask about the men first, and then I was going to ask about the women. Is there such a thing as a toxic woman? Now, we hear about toxic men all the time. We also hear about toxic women and let me tell you what because I did a lot of research, what category they put toxic women in. someone like me. If a man says something, I say something back, oh, I'm toxic, oh, I'm aggressive. And we're going to talk about that angry black woman syndrome. Oh, we're going to talk. So I hope y'all got time. So go ahead, Lee. We about to get into this.
Real quick. For me personally, and this isn't all women, you know, because as far as I'm concerned, we're all first world Americans here. So we all share a lot of these issues. But for me, red flags.
I like that.
Red flags for me, and this is just with people in general, but especially when I'm dating a woman, you know, so I want to bring this all back center with like, is it a need or a want? My main question is, are you looking for a partner or a pet? Because whether you are male or female looking for whatever you're looking for, either you're looking for a partner, which is someone that will hold you accountable to what you say, and you live through that, or a pet, something you can play with when you want to and put away when you want to. Big difference between the two, and I think both men and women have an issue with this, but it's with themselves. A red flag for me is a woman who cannot admit when she's wrong, or cannot apologize. But to be frank, none of my male friends have these traits. None of my siblings have these traits. These are traits I just can't rock with.
Now, would that be a toxic woman? Would that be the definition of a toxic woman? Or
No. I don't think so. I think you have to pile on a lot more stuff, just like a toxic male. Just because I'm a male and I'm horny all the time, and I don't know if I want you to spend the night or spend the month. I don't know, you know. That's not the entirety of a toxic male. I think there's degrees like anything else, you know. Before we get to an extreme, let's talk about the parameters to which we're dealing with a characteristic. You know,
okay, well, let me ask you. Is toxic always considered negative? Is it always is it negative in every situation? I know toxic is a word that they use, and it's supposed to mean negative, but is it always negative in every situation?
I was told that my charm was toxic.
Oh wow.
Now, I can see how it can be, so I had to chill out with it, especially when I'm in a relationship or something like that. But I've heard even that. I don't know if it's a negative thing or I don't know if it's a positive thing. My charm can be positive, but it can be negative at the same time. Like I can definitely use it to flirt or just pull women or something like that, or I can use it to get people to grasp people's attention, and they can listen to what I need to tell them or teach them or something like that. But like since being told that could be toxic, though, that's something that I definitely have to watch or so. So, I mean, I think it's up to the person and their mindset on whether it's something is going to be, whether they're going to be toxic or not.
Can I add that I think toxic has a lot to do with self-destruction. I think a lot of what's wrapped up in the word toxicity is how toxic these people are to themselves if literally left by themselves. Normally we know toxicity to spread. So, you know, everyone has to clean house at the door as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. And since we talked about independence, is a woman being independent detrimental to their futures? Like I know you were saying, does anybody think it's detrimental to their futures?
To be 100, I was gonna say to be 100. I don't think that. I mean, and I'm gonna have to kind of agree with Slim a little bit on here because, like to be independent means that you don't need us. But at the end of the day, the world needs men. Like we did build, like okay, because I have to be careful when I say this because I said this and
I had to say it.
You saw the faces, right?
We built this world just like in the words of James Brown, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman. At the end of the day, yes, but without men, like and Destiny, you watch Kevin Samuel and whoever else watch Kevin Samuel, he always brings up this show which I definitely gotta go check out for myself. But
Yeah,
called Bear Grizzly or Bear Grill
right.
or something
Yeah,
like
Bear
that one. I
Grylls.
gotta watch it myself. Yeah.
It's
that.
good.
And
It's good.
and I mean, slick when I'm thinking about it, like if it came down to it, and I put up a post about this, and so many women dragged me about this. I don't know why, but all I'm saying is respect the men in your life. But I was saying like if we decide to one day snap and be like, we are done with women, we either leave the country or something like that. We're taking all of our inventions, we taking all of that and stuff like that. That definitely is saying that y'all need us in a sense. So I don't. I
Not
mean,
really. We
Why do you
survived
think
every
we
last
need
time
you,
we went over.
though?
What about every time the men went over to war? We survived.
I think for the
Right.
I
And I think
There was still men. There were still men in services
there was
that
still men that was there. Yeah.
but the implication that a woman can't take care of herself at all without a man is what it sounds like you're saying. I know that's not the intention behind your statement, but if you
Okay.
all
I mean,
left,
Okay.
I think what Sam
let's
was getting
let,
at was that that was the difference of being self-sufficient. Because I don't, if I could be self-sufficient, that means I don't need resources, but I
So
still need protection.
here's my thing though, is that you guys are saying, yes, there were still men over here because we weren't given the full opportunity. We thrived in every aspect that women took over in. This day and age, women are holding the same exact jobs that men are, and they are not married and they don't have kids or whether kids, they are. They are.
How
I
many
know women
fires?
that are in
and
construction, women that can build houses by hand that men can't even do that.
and
I don't want
who
to
gave women the ability to learn all of those things?
I'm not even gonna touch that one.
Women did, dog.
Gave the
Women did, man.
Okay,
No, women did.
because
Come on now.
because
gave
hold
the
on,
okay, so
hold on a
first of all,
second.
gave the ability. The only people giving ability are women. You come from a woman.
wait.
I understand that. I'm not a test tube baby.
I don't want to interrupt everyone, but
What I'm saying is that the Civil Rights Act and the Suffrage Act were both passed by men. Men gave you those abilities in order to get
do you think that it wasn't the women who were rallying behind them, the suffragettes, that got them through?
and the black suffragettes were passed over for the white racist southern ones.
we're getting into chicken or the egg, and I think that's unproductive. We're not here to split hairs and break down the problem. I think that's easy to ascertain between everyone here. Let's instead veer our focus towards solutions, because I think it's pretty obvious, rather than get caught up in which came first, the chicken or the egg, the damaged man or the woman that raised him. I just think it's unproductive at the end of the day, because you cannot have one without the other. That's why I keep bringing this back to either you want a pet or a partnership. And for instance, when people ask me dumb questions like, hey, who do you think God is? For me, I'm pretty literal. God's a woman. Why? Because I came from one. Like literally, we can look at the effects and the changes from that that's scientifically proven. Rather than one team is better for these reasons and this team is better for these reasons, which, what do we share as toxicity when it comes to what we're searching out? Because if you're a business—
Wait, I'm gonna help you. I got you. Let me ask you a question, because I kind of see where y'all was going with that when y'all was talking about the whole who started, who could do without each other. Do women want more than they deserve? Is that what you're trying to say when you say that?
I think people want more than they deserve. But
No, bro.
Like when you say like men created the world and everything, and we wouldn't be,
they didn't
women
though.
wouldn't go. Does that
They
mean
didn't
like
though.
we want more than we deserve? Is that a way of saying that we asking for too much?
No, I think that for the first time in a long time,
Let me know
women,
when
and especially Black women, have a voice. And to be honest, from the patriarchy, that's new to us. So this is our general reaction. Like, oh snap, they got things to say too, and they have a point of view too, and they have a megaphone. So that's what I think.
Okay.
How much
Let's get into it. I don't know if anybody had an answer for that, another answer, because now I really want to get into it. Because I see so many of y'all faces. I took us off of the live, so don't worry about it. We just in here now talking. And I didn't want to put this on the live. So, do Black women come off defensive and angry?
So
I wouldn't say. Go
no.
ahead.
Well, okay. So, so I just want to.
Oh, he got stuck. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Men do it. I've seen women do it. I think toxic means you have trauma in your life that you aren't willing to work on. And that goes across, that's for men, that's for women. You're toxic if you're not willing to look at yourself and say, what are my flaws? What have I done to people that was wrong? And I want to be better, not to be in a relationship or to have a partner, but simply because I want to be a better man or woman. That's when you start going from being toxic to being a person that can pour into a relationship. That's just my personal. You're not willing to do the trauma that they create. Have not dealt with the trauma that they want to experience. And most men could not deal with a percent of the trauma women have had to experience and still deal with in their life. But that's my opinion.
Okay. Does anybody?
I gotta push back on that because when we meet somebody, fellas, you've been through this. Oh, how much you make? You better make more than this. You better have a car. You better have your own place. You better have this. You better have that. You're comparing me automatically with the ones that you already have.
No,
So
I'm comparing you to yourself. If I have a car,
can I wait a second? He pushed back on me. Can I?
Yeah.
Come on, Adonis. Come on.
Push back. Can I push back? Okay. So you're saying it sounds like you're speaking from your personal experience, but that's
you're breaking up.
Adonis, you breaking up. It's very hard to hear you.
You gotta get stable, Adonis.
Oh yeah. So don't worry about it. I'll reply back.
Yes, hey Adonis, what you hear?
Yeah, I want to hear what you got to say, Adonis. So try and come back.
I will. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'll wait till I'm parked and see if I got a better signal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could say, because like I would want to push back onto what you were saying. I don't think that's a bad expectation that women have. That's their natural expectation. Women have a filter mechanism. They filter out the good niggas from the ain't shit niggas, if you want to say. So they're going to ask, like, okay, you got this, because they're going to be giving your kids. Their kids going to be.
I'm sorry, but doing all of that.
When I ask those questions, I want to know
that does not have as much as me. If I'm driving, why do I want somebody on the bus? If I'm working, why do I want a bum? If I'm educated, why do I want somebody uneducated?
right.
Before is trying to say that I'm looking at you at what I can get from you. I'm trying to make sure we're equally yoked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that she's looking for materials in guys. And this is what I've explained my whole entire life, is it's not like, oh, I'm looking for materials of you should be able to drive me around if I got a car. It's no, I've put in this hard work to pull myself up from my bootstraps or whatever things you guys want to terminology you want to use. I put hard work in this tears effort into this. You can at least match me in that effort. Do you have to have the same materialistic things? No, but what are you doing to show me that you can match my effort? So it's not like that the guys, it doesn't even matter what gender, male or females, that they don't have things. It's the fact of what effort are you showing that you're putting into achieving things and bettering your situation. You don't have to better your situation, but for other people that have goals to strive and want to, you don't match up with them. So it is what it is.
Like, is it wrong for a woman to say that they want somebody that's doing better than them? Because usually you don't want a person on your same level. You want them to be better.
I mean,
I think
it needs to be.
Why do you feel like you want somebody better than you?
right, yeah. I don't look for
be on the same level with somebody and grow collectively.
right.
What's wrong with that?
I respect that. I
Now,
respect
there's an underlying word under this issue that we've been talking about is respect. Do you respect where he is, his path that he's walked, and where he's going? If you don't
Well,
have
Slim Daddy,
if
we
you
gonna
don't
have to say
any
the same thing
respect
for
for
you. Slim
where
Daddy,
he
we gonna
is
have to
and
say the
where
same thing
he's
for you,
going.
sweetheart. You said you have to have somebody who's intellectually smart, right?
Yeah.
That woman has to be educated. She's going to have to be some type of independence. You said a while ago that you are a bit away from being a six-figure guy, which means you want to have somebody who's intellectually there with you. You can't be with somebody who's working at McDonald's that's pretty and all these things that's not there mentally. If the woman is there with you mentally, she's going to have some type of education. She's going to have probably six figures or something like that. So you have to have respect for that woman, just like you expect her to have respect for you, period.
Okay.
You can't have it like that. It just doesn't make sense.
Can I reply now? Am I better now? Because I'm not moving.
Yeah,
You're good now.
come on, Adonis.
So I think what the thing is, and we miss this, is I'm always coaching people. You have to look for personality traits. Now, no questions, even though she's not really getting it. People are trying to assess your ambition as opposed to not just your accomplishments. And a lack of ambition, even if you have money, is not going to be a good thing. So they might not be vocalizing it correctly when they ask you, did you go to school or what type of job you have? But what they are, and even when I do it, like I've had women get mad when I say what type of job you have. I'm looking to see, are you ambitious? Do you want to do something with your life? Do you want to be better than where you're at now? Like I said, if you're not willing to be working on yourself, I don't want to date you. And I get what you're saying about the personality. But the thing is, I'm not saying you in particular, but a lot of men feel like because I got money and because I can provide, I can have a fucked up personality, or I can be an asshole, or I can, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't have to be caring. I don't have to be affectionate. I don't have to be attentive because I pay all the bills. And that works hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, when you ask, what can you give? And we're having these questions when we're dating, it really does need to be, we have to stop looking at what is and what is the base foundation of your personality, because that's what's going to put together a partnership, as the other gentleman was saying.
Yeah. In my industry,
Adonis, I do. Yesterday, I do. Okay, you pick a location and the season. I do.
We got a love connection.
Yes. No, you.
Yeah.
So now he trusted. Wow.
Let me reply.
Okay.
I handful in my I like going with me just because you want
Adonis,
me.
You cutting up.
Yeah, you cutting up again, Adonis. We can hear like every other word.
Talk to me no more because I'm openly polyamorous and I practice non-ethical. I practice ethical non-monogamy. Yeah.
You breaking up.
Okay, you breaking up. Don't worry. Don't go to it. Pop. We got you. We got you. Now let me ask you, for the women in here that are making money, that are doing well in life. This came up in some of my research too. It's I just put it together like this. Do women want to be men despite the responsibility?
No.
I don't want to be a man.
Like,
being a woman is so great.
I want to be myself.
I have to be a man.
Yeah, I enjoy
when they
being
say
a woman.
that, they mean dominant without the responsibility of that the men have.
It doesn't matter. For me, when I was married, I owned my house, car, and had a decent job. And my relationship was built on our love, care, and effort for each other. We were, I guess, as you would say, equally yoked. But I didn't go into it thinking because I have all these things, I'm more dominant than he is. I didn't think I had any more power than he did. And to go back to what both Adonis and Check Reality, I'm sorry, I don't know your actual name, what they were saying, it's either 50-50 or 100-100. And in that scenario, both of us went through job losses at time through our relationship, and we were able to support each other because we were equally yoked and prepared to be with each other. So my job got us by when his went away, and his job got us by when mine went away. And we were there, and we had that ambition that Adonis was speaking on, to know that we could count on each other to have the drive to succeed and be a couple together that was doing and accomplishing the things that we wanted to. And it had nothing to do with who was more dominant in the relationship, because by all standards, in my day-to-day life, as a leader and a manager and a boss and all those things, I have to have a more dominant personality. But I'm much more submissive in nature when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
It doesn't, that balance doesn't whether I make six figures and he makes, less than that, or vice versa. It's about our connection and where that dominance and submissiveness comes from. It has nothing to do with me wanting to be more like a man or any of those things. I just needed to make sure that I had the security of earning my own things to prove to myself that I could do it, and then shared my life with someone else.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you, is there any more women in here that would take care of a man if, let's say, they didn't have as much money as you had, or let's say they fell on hard times? Is there any other women that feel like they would take care of their man?
Why wouldn't
Absolutely. I
I? Why
do.
wouldn't I?
I have.
If you're
Right.
like,
He's my husband. I've been with him for years, and why wouldn't I? So, yeah, I believe in the sanctity of what marriage is, um and what I am here. It said long time way I grew up here. I'm gonna help me. So I'm here to help him. Just like he helped me. So, and like LaRonda spoke on, it's been times where I carried our family for years. But that's what I'm gonna do, because he took care of them kids. Like,
Right.
I was expecting, or I needed him to do whatever. So we made it work for us, and we still
Okay.
here doing it. So, and we are a poly company as well. So, I don't know. We make it work. Like they say, ambition is what it is. We strive to stay together, and we're gonna keep on working at it.
Okay. All right. I respect it. Is there any woman in here that wouldn't do that? Like, if he doesn't have it or have his own, they're not taking care of a man.
are we
I
just
know.
meeting? Are we just meeting, or are we in a relationship for years?
Good question, Penny. Now that's kind of how I wanted to phrase it. Okay,
We're
let's
just
say
meeting.
you're
We're just
outdated.
meeting.
You're
We're just
finding
meeting.
right. You're just meeting. You're fine. Are you looking for the man that you can grow with? You say it like that because let's say you have more than him, or are you okay with dating a man that you have to kind of wait till he gets to his potential or where you need him to be, whereas that you would deal with the bills and stuff, you would take on most of the responsibility? Is that something that y'all are open to, or is that something that just comes in relationships?
Especially if you're a white collar earner and the guy is a blue collar earner. I like to differentiate between college educated Black women and non-college educated Black men, just because it makes it more spicy. Thank you.
Okay.
But that will go out the window if the blue collar man is an electrician or a carpenter or a plumber who has his own business. Then he's making six-figure money by being a blue collar man. So
in this particular economy, I don't want to interrupt. Yes, maybe 15 years ago, I would definitely agree with you. But at this point in today's economy, unfortunately, unless you're in like a union or you're just in a pretty good setup or city, that's not necessarily the case. The reason why I focus on college educated rather than non-college educated is because normally there is a assumption that one is focused on future goals, delayed gratification, things that are important to women, as opposed to the image of, high school dropout, college dropout, can't handle a commitment for at least 4 years. I mean, let's be honest, these things do symbolize things in our society. So I like to make the differentiation, not necessarily between.
I'm sorry. There's something that I left out in my example that's really kind of key. When I said plumber, a carpenter, electrician, I meant somebody who owns their own company. A plumber who owns his own plumbing company, an electrician who owns an electrician company.
I don't think it matters in either
having a
case.
blue-collar job. So I meant to include that in there, but go ahead.
As a college educated woman, I can tell you that it doesn't matter to me whether you are a blue collar worker or a white collar worker, because in today's time, there is not a guarantee that a blue collar worker does not have a degree because they're doing a blue collar job. One of my partners is what you would consider a blue collar worker, but has a degree, but he's also by trade an electrician. It's what he chose to do for himself. So to classify people by those standards, I don't think we can do that anymore. The same way that economically, Lee, you're saying that we can't compare what a salary of a business owner who was a plumber or an electrician or a carpenter to what it was back in the day.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
The same way you're saying that is the same way I'm saying you can't compare blue collar versus white collar, because that doesn't guarantee anything anymore. There are so many people that have been forced out of jobs for many reasons, but particularly with the pandemic and all the things, that they took what they had to support their families and themselves. And I can tell you that I've spent time on both sides of the fence. I have a degree, but I also sat for a year working as a concierge, making $12 an hour, pushing a button to open a door. Had nothing to do with the fact that I have a bachelor's degree and, have studied and traveled the world. What happened was I got laid off from my 5-year job and had to go with what I could get to pay my mortgage and my car note. So it's...
And not to interrupt, but can I, and that's a great, I understand that. How do the other ladies feel about that particular question? I'm curious. Being out on a Saturday night, you're with your girls, homeboy steps to you, and it's either one type of resume or it's another type of resume. Does that matter to you? Does that hold any kind of weight, significance?
I just want to say one thing: a college degree doesn't determine your future goals.
I know that, but I'm saying
at all.
Yeah,
but
because you got some people out here that has college degrees, that has master's degrees, that somebody that doesn't even have a degree make more money than.
I understand that, but I'm
So
going
what
off
is
of
his
the
question?
curb. Right. I'm going off of the curb appeal. How do you, and I'm looking for more than one woman to respond, to be honest, how do you react to the occupation answer and question when you're out and about? Which do you prefer? And which one do you go home and brag about? And which one do you can't wait to show off to your family? And which one do you, I would rather not? And does it matter? And to which degree? I'm really curious to hear from all of the ladies present, to be honest.
You got a job?
I do.
If you got a job, you make your own money. I don't got to take care of you. Why does it matter what the job is? I don't. At this
because
point,
to you it may not, but to other women it may. That's why I'm asking. Maybe not you.
Yeah, depending on the lifestyle. Depending on how the woman wants to live the lifestyle, it would definitely determine like whether he makes this amount of money or not. Like if she's used to like traveling all the time.
If we're traveling all the time, I'm paying for half of my ticket just like you are, because we're doing it together. I'm not coming in with the expectation that you're always going to pay for something, but let's say you got last year's vacation. Okay, I got next year's vacation, and so forth and so on.
Thank you,
Okay,
Lorenzo. I'm okay with what you're doing. As long as you can do for yourself, it's a wonderful thing. And then we can go on forward together. However, we plan to do that in a couple situations. So
I do want
I'm
to.
not sure.
None of
I do
y'all
want to ask.
are
I do want to ask though. Does it put fear into y'all when y'all are dating somebody who is of lower, like who makes lower money, but you just so happen to make a lot more money than them? Like, does it? Do y'all
You're
have
going in and
like?
out.
Oh, do you? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Like, do y'all have fear? Like, say for instance, somebody is making $90,000, but then I'm only making $50,000.
I just
Like,
feel like
do
when you're secure within yourself, some of these
Exactly.
questions don't even arise and don't even apply. It doesn't matter if it's finances, it doesn't matter if it's education. If you're secure with yourself and you're looking to be with other secure people,
Thank you.
these don't apply. These are not the focuses.
Right. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I think there's no
but
guarantee
I'm
that
just saying.
there's no guarantee that
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
there's
sorry.
no
Go ahead. Go
guarantee that the balance is going to stay that way. So we can start out going into it like I can tell you when I met my ex-husband, he was still in undergrad. He made far less money than I did at the time working for a nonprofit organization, which meant I wasn't making that much money. By the time we got married, he was making close to six figures and doing all the things. And it shifted. I mean, I was making more money at that point anyway, but he was already making more money than me. And then again, the tables turned. And it over the years, over the span of 12 years, that flip flopped. So you can't just say, I'm going to make this decision based on where you are now only. I think it
But
factors in all the things, the ambition, all of that. And I get what you all are getting at. It seems that the experience has been you've encountered women that
yeah.
are really looking for those things and really do reject men on those things. But that to me just says they're not in alignment with who you are. And it's like yes, you can say there are these types of people out there, but if they're not for you, they're not for you. So you shouldn't be concerning yourself with those types of people. Move and align yourself with the women or partners that you want to build your life with and have all those things. Or in your case, if you want somebody that you can specifically take care of and do those things for and who you want to be dependent upon you, then that's the company you need to keep.
But
I have two questions. I
the
got
problem
two of them
comes
from
when
exactly what you said, LaRonda. Well, one of them was, and let me get the first one. Is it wrong for a woman to want not to take care of a man or you get what I'm saying? Like, is it wrong for that? Are we saying that that's wrong? That we should be looking at what they're gonna make?
Entirely. I don't want to take care of anyone entirely. I want us to support each other. I'm not here to, if you hit something, a point in your life where you physically can't take care of yourself, then I'm not going to leave you high and dry. But I'm not here and showing up to say, take care of everything for me, and I'm not going to take care of everything for you. So that's my stance on that question. I don't know how other people feel.
I think
Okay.
this is for.
Anybody?
Yeah, I definitely agree with LaRonda. I'm a educated, college educated woman, and it's not a requirement for me for a man to have a college degree. Um, it's just so much deeper than money to me. Like, how do you treat my child? How do you treat me? How are you with your mom? You can tell a lot from a man by how they treat their children and their mother. So it's just deeper than money to me.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So, look, I know you had to say something. I think I cut you off. What were you gonna say, Slim?
um it was in reference to what LaRonda was saying as far as, and also it touches on what T was saying. Now we're getting away from the intrinsics and getting to um, what do you have to offer personally? What do you mean? How you can support me? And now, all that is great. But oh, that's what I was going to get to. But when we're first meeting, um, we're not going to be able to read okay, you're in it just for the money, for what my wallet can supply. That's not on your forehead. It's only in, having a discussion, if you get that far, that you determine whether you're going to entertain the conversation or if you're going to move on, and try something else.
Okay, so let me ask everyone, is there a such thing as a I don't need a man ideology? Like, are women really saying they don't need men? And what kind of women are saying it?
Burnt women, damaged
I want to know. Yeah, I still want to know that too. Like, what do y'all need from us nowadays? Like,
Match efforts. Reciprocity is everything.
that counts big in my book as well.
Okay. Nobody else that has anything to say? What do we think about that?
the type of women
such
that's
a
out
woman?
there saying, that they don't need a man, I heard somebody said hurt women. I heard somebody say gay women. But you forget about the women that's just tired of dealing with the same bullshit that they've been dealing with as a collective from our men. So, like, until there's a collective of men that can rectify the damn damage that's been done, and we're talking about generational damage that's been done to our women, like as men, we have to eat that shit. And further to that, the ideology of a man thinking that a woman needs him, to me, comes from a sense of of needing to have some extra sense of control over his woman. If you're doing what you supposed to be doing in your relationship by your damn woman, your woman ain't gonna go no damn where. Period. Correct. So that's just what it is. So and it's like you need an extra leg or you need an extra limb to stand on when you know you fucking up. Point
I
blank.
hear no lies.
I don't need a man.
I don't hear no lies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Coco.
Show it out. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so why don't you need a man, Coco? We got one.
I don't need a man because I was raised to depend on myself. I don't have to have a man to depend on what I need to be done in my life. It all starts with me. And if I cannot take care of me first, I can't even help a man take care of me. So I don't need to.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Coco.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so you said, so it was your childhood that makes you think like that, not like, was it past hurts or, a situation you were in that made you feel like that, or?
No past hurts, nothing like that. I was raised to be independent. My mom raised me to be dependent on myself. My dad also raised me.
Yeah. I always say my mom taught me to be independent, but my grandfather taught me that I didn't have to be.
Okay, so does that mean that we don't need a man or we just don't want one?
I don't need one.
You don't need one?
No, I don't. It's nice to have one, but I don't need one.
Okay. I respect it. Anyone else?
So I have the opinion of, like she said. So I didn't start truly connecting to the partners that I wanted in my life until I had to say I'm happy being lonely. Like that's like I don't have, if no one decides they want me, because I'm going to be genuinely me with all my uniqueness, my kinks, how I identify, my job, my passion. If no one wants me, I'm cool with my friends. And I think all people should approach relationships that way, as opposed to
Adonis,
relationship, because realistically you don't know, like he said.
Oh, Adonis.
Yeah,
In dating,
you making some good points.
Always when you get to the good stuff that you find out.
If you want me, you'll stay in my presence. If you don't, it's cool. You can exit stage left, and that brings space for someone else to be there.
Okay.
Well said.
Well said. All right. Anybody
That's why
else?
he's my fam.
Because I think we got to a solution. So Jade, did you want to say something, Jade?
Oh, I'm just in agreement with Adonis. He makes sense. You should approach relationships with everybody on a friendship level. And then you can go forward and see what it's developing into. If it will be a relationship where you are bonding on a romantic level, or is it gonna stay platonic and we're gonna be friends? And we're gonna develop love and friendship, and we're gonna be there and support one another, or you know what? That's how I feel you should approach relationships, period. Now, when the lady says, do you need a man? I'm like her, I believe that. I need to be self-independent. I need to be able to take care of me fully, completely, mentally, emotionally, financially. That has to be accomplished before I can do anything with anybody else. If not, I'm not going to be good to nobody if I'm not good to me. If I'm not loving me, if I'm not making sure I can eat, you know, it's not going to be a me in my mind. So that's how I think.
Like to hell with
Self-preservation, and
to
then
hell with
everything
everybody,
else.
not to cut you off, but to hell with
Yeah.
everybody else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Now let me just
I
play
can't
devil
go for.
advocate. Can I play devil's advocate one time?
You can
That
do what
I haven't done it in so long. All right. So if there is a thing called I don't need a man, what happens with families and how do children get made? Are we just making children and then going off on our own? Or like, how does this work? If that's what some of you are doing, like, because that's where the actual notion came from, that I don't need a man thing. It's being related to like women just be on their own, not producing children, not having families, not leaving legacies. That's where it actually came from. But I like where we took it. But let me ask you, what do we say about that? You know,
Well, I could start it off because,
okay.
I've seen a woman with 4 kids that
Can't hear you, Mama.
Can't hear you, Coco.
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've seen a woman with 4 kids just sit around the house and do absolutely nothing but drink. And their fathers are not in their lives. So I have issues like if you just want to have babies and move on and you don't have you're not doing anything for yourself, number one. You can say you're doing everything for your kids, but it all starts with you, where your kid's going to learn from, if it's not you.
Okay. All right. So I think we came to a good conclusion. We're about to wrap it up. Did anybody want to say, if people still coming in, did anybody want to say anything else, like a final thought, a last thought? Anybody that didn't speak, that wanted to say something on anything that we talked about?
I love me first.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't think you should go into a relationship unless you're fine with yourself. I can't want someone else if I'm not okay with me first. You gotta love the hell out of you first before you try to get with somebody else, period.
Very true. Okay, yes. Anybody else that want to speak? If you didn't speak, or if you did, and you have some final thoughts, now's the time to do it.
I want to give a shout out to all the probably smoking people out there. Like, thanks for showing up. Like, gang, for real. Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, we got you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know I just put a lot right there in the chat. I need y'all to look at the chat. If y'all liked, this is the plug talk now. If y'all like, and I wish I had my other stuff to plug because a lot of y'all in here. But if y'all like the show and y'all want to check out past shows, anything, and if you could please help a sister out and subscribe, please just hit that link. Please subscribe and help me out, help Mario out, and all the other ones. And I gotta tell y'all about there's also like merchandise and stuff like that. But as you watch the episodes, you'll see the different things I have. With this logo that's behind me here. I want to thank everybody for coming out. And there's actually a whole show on polyamory. I might want to check that out too. Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Really good topics. If you have any topics that you think that we should cover, or something that you want us to talk about, I'll also leave my information, which is on every video. My information on every video to get in touch with me. Y'all can let me know. How did y'all like the show? Did everybody like the show? Did everybody get their opinions and stuff off? What they felt? Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I want to thank y'all all for coming out tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is the part of the show where I need everybody to say goodnight and wave. Good night. All right.
Why you blushing? Give sweet concussion.